Hi, you're watching Sipping Off the Cuff on TequilaAficionado.com and Tequila Aficionado Media and YouTube. I am Mike Morales here in San Antonio, and that gentleman over there is our new TJ.
I'm Eric Zandona in San Francisco.
Eric and I have been taking a walk through Nome 1414 and Alderete tequila. Look at that.
Mhm.
We have already big fans of the Blanco and Reposado. Oh yeah, I haven't even I just uncapped mine. There it is.
There's the nice crest on the top.
Yes, that is the family crest. For those of you who are not familiar with the Alderete family, I believe it's Jesse and Ronnie and Jesse, if I'm not mistaken. And I could be wrong. If you guys are watching, I'm sorry. And you will be watching because uh, we had them on our last Tequila Standing show, and they came out and presented their tequila and their story. They're asparagus growers in Central California. So for them, this was a natural progression, to get into. They apparently do quite well because there's quite a market for asparagus these days, I suppose. I
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, what do we know about this tequila, though? I know that the Repo was aged 6 months, right?
Yeah. So what they say on their site is that this Anejo is aged for 27 months in
Wow.
used American white oak barrels, which were probably used whiskey barrels. And it comes, like you said, from Nome 1414. Where they do as you described, the Mozart method.
Yes.
So they play Mozart during the fermentation process. So the yeast is happy and dancing along with Mozart as they convert the sugars into alcohol for us.
I know we laugh, but it works. We're in the midst of and I've been saying this for about a year, but we're in the midst of writing the definitive article on the Mozart method from the two gentlemen that actually have developed it. So this should be fun. I'm hoping I'll have all my notes and stuff ready and written before the end of the year, maybe sooner. What I haven't mentioned, Eric, is that these tequilas are award winners also.
Mm,
You and I talked off camera about the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Their
yeah.
Blanco won a double gold medal in 2011,
Hmm.
and Beverage Tasting Institute gave them a silver in
Yeah.
2011. So by no means are these tequilas any slouches, for sure.
No, that's for sure.
Um, and you tried the Repo in there. I know that you said that they had some cocktail suggestions.
Yeah, so for the Repo, they had suggested either neat or in a margarita, and I felt like the margarita worked really well. Actually, I thought it worked better than the Blanco. But then for the Anejo, their suggestion was just neat or on the rocks. And so before we filmed this, I tried a small sample on the rocks, and it was nice. It The little bit of ice, added some dilution, and so it opened up the nose a little bit, and so you got some of the greenness. Because right now on the nose, most of what I'm getting is like the oak character. So there's a lot of caramel,
Yes.
there's like vanilla and baking spice, and a little bit of alcohol, but you don't really notice as much, or at least I don't notice as much of the like green agave character that was like as soon as you open the Blanco, the room fills with this wonderful like agave smell, right? And then even with the Reposado, that's there, it's intermixed with the barrel notes. But on this, the wood really dominates the nose, but when you add a little bit of ice and it dilutes a little bit, it actually opens up some of that, and it's still there, which was nice to see.
Wow. Wow, this is really a beautiful nose on this, though, Eric. I mean, first of all, look at the color. I don't know if you can see
Yeah,
that, but it's just a
yeah,
gorgeous. Uh, uh, what do I call
yeah.
this?
It's
An
really,
amber. It's a beautiful amber color.
yeah, amber, or I would say maybe like burnished copper.
Yes.
You know,
You know, it's interesting because I'm on their website right now, and they tell you what a couple of their secrets are, what makes them different. They cook in stone ovens. We know that.
Hmm.
Anybody who's been to their distillery knows that they
Yeah.
cook in stone ovens. Um, uh, they use the Mozart method, and they also use copper stills. So they use copper pot stills
Yeah.
on this one, not the stainless steel that some distilleries are going to. Um, they are small batch. There's no there's
Yeah.
no
From what I
mistaking.
could see,
What's that? Can you hear me? Okay.
yeah. What I was, yeah, yeah. My my internet seems to be slowing down a little
Yeah,
bit. But
mine too a little
what I
bit.
was going to say is, from what I could see from some photos is that there's one larger, what we would call stripping still. So it's what takes the fermented juice, that's probably at, I don't know, maybe 6% ABV, and probably strips it to maybe 30 something ABV as like a first run, and then they run it a second time in their spirit stills, and all of those are copper. And the spirit stills have these really nice like tall columns. From what I can tell, it doesn't look like there's any plates in the column. It's just probably just like a really tall tube.
Yeah, like a big
And
chimney.
so what you get out of that is you get a little extra like rectification inside that column, because the vapors have to travel up so high before they make it over to the condenser. So you're going to get a really clean um, distillate with like really great notes still coming over. So it's not going to be super heavy. From what we've had so far with the Blanco and Reposado, they're making really clean cuts. There's no like fusel oils left over, no high, alcohols, that burn in your chest. It's a really clean distillate, so they're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah,
And then the barrels that they're using are doing some really nice transformation.
27 months. The color certainly shows that. Um, the other thing that I'm not sure if you're getting anything out of it, but the
Hmm.
nose on my end, it really reminiscent of dried fruit, for instance. I'm getting some dried fruit just on the nose. I haven't had any yet, but the 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 aromas that I'm sensing are sometimes left for extra añejos. I mean, there are some extra añejos that cost even more, I'm not even. I know that they have an extra añejo, but we didn't get one with this particular
Yeah,
segment.
I don't think they've, from what I could see from their website, they haven't launched it yet. So
Okay.
it's still, my guess is they've probably got some barrels that they want to bottle, but they haven't been able to do that yet. And so we'll see. I'm interested to see where their extra añejo comes in, since their añejo is already 27 months old. Like,
Yeah.
where's that? Where, I mean, are we talking 36 months or more? I don't. It'll be interesting to see. Um,
All I know is the character on this thing, just in the nose alone. I We have had extra añejos that have this kind of character already, just in the aromas in the nose.
mhm.
Mm. Wow, that is some heavy rounding off. That
Yeah,
it is barrel forward, but it's
yeah,
not like I'm chewing on a two by four or anything like
no,
that. It
yeah, no. It's really nice, and it's got a lot of on the palate. I think it's got a lot of baking spice,
Yes.
like some cinnamon and nutmeg, which with the alcohol gives this really nice, like warm sensation in the mouth. Um, like I said, neat. I feel like the agave doesn't show through as much as when I had a little bit on the rocks. I felt like with a little bit of dilution, some of those green earthy notes that we saw in the Blanco and the Reposado started to show show through as well. But neat. This is, if you like, more age on your tequila, you like that barrel characteristic, you want, the vanilla and caramel and spice, like this is
This
a really good example.
Yeah, this is gorgeous. It's just, it really is. It's hearty. I don't know about you, but I like to have an occasional cigar every once in a while. To me, this would be a great accompaniment
Hmm.
to pair with a cigar.
Yeah.
Definitely after dinner. Would you go so far as to serve this with dessert? I don't know if I would or not. I don't think I don't.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting, like I said, I'm getting some dried fruit, but I'm also getting, like we talked about earlier, some leather, maybe a little bit of cocoa,
Hmm.
or there's
Yeah.
like a touch of something, char or burned, not in a bad way, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah. No, I
tobacco,
know.
maybe tobacco or something.
Yeah. Hmm.
But this is really it's a
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Like some cocoa powder in there. And there's even on the nose, once it's opened up a little bit, I think there's a little bit of fruitiness mixed in um, with the vanilla and the caramel.
Yeah, the type of fruitiness that I normally get from stuff like this would be like a dried cherries, dried raisins, dried plums, things like that.
Right.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's what you're getting. Maybe when you say when we dilute it, maybe with the fruitiness that we're getting is the stuff that's in, that maybe it's the agave that's giving that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say definitely like some dried cherry and maybe some mission fig.
Yeah. There you go. That's it. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is just beautiful. Uh, uh,
Yeah.
Holy
The
cow.
mouth the mouth feels really nice. And what's nice about this too is I would say there's been a progression in from the Blanco to the Reposado to the Anejo, where the finish gets smoother and smoother and smoother,
Yes.
and that's nice because sometimes you can have some barrel aged spirits that are still kind of harsh,
Yeah.
but again, I think this is a testament to the craft of the distillery. They're taking a very good spirit and they're getting a good, maturation where the barrel and the oxygen that's mixing is improving the spirit and not just covering it up with some oak flavor. You're transforming it in some way.
Y- I agree. I agree. And in fact, there I once heard it said that there are two words you should never have in the same sentence, and that's smooth and tequila. Um, but I got to tell you, this one goes down really nicely.
Yeah.
This is a very elegant sipper.
Yeah.
I rarely ever put ice in anything. To me, it's got to be a
Hmm.
room temp, and I know I live in a hotter climate, so I have to be real careful. Like even when these spirits get to me, I wait a day or two before. That's
Right.
why I don't try tasting them or do anything with you or any of the other tasters on the day that we receive anything, because
Right.
I live in a hotter climate and I know better. I know that I have to let
Yeah.
it sit for a day. To stabilize. I know, for
Yeah.
instance, that Siembra Azul won't even deliver once they get to the warehouses. They won't even deliver for a week until the tequila's had a chance to settle.
Yeah.
Because it's such a lively spirit,
Yeah.
that it doesn't age in the bottle, but it is still evolving. And
Yeah.
wow, this is just gorgeous. It clings to your palate, and now that I have it on my palate, I can get more of the cocoa and more of the leather and the tobacco. I think that the more of the
Hmm.
bitter wood notes. But you're right.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful natural progression, that God, you can't go wrong with any of the three. What are we looking at pricing for this thing? Is it another $5 above the repo? Or?
Yeah, it is. So for the Anejo, the suggested price that I saw was $65 for the 750, so full size bottle.
But see, that's
So
not bad though. That's still
no, it's not. So that's the thing I thought, which was really interesting, is that to me the Blanco seemed a little bit on the high side, but when you get to the Anejo, $65 for a 27-month-old, tequila that's really, I think, showing well. Um, sure there's probably cheaper stuff out there, but it's a really, really fine example of an añejo tequila. Um, so my personal preference tends towards the, younger stuff, but I think it's really nice for what it is.
wow.
So if I agree, like, have this with a cigar, I think that would be really nice. If you're just somebody who likes añejo tequilas and you want something to sip on in the evening, this is beautiful, smooth. You don't need ice. It's just, so.
Yeah, this is one of those. And if you're a gal who likes to have an añejo, maybe I think some pairing with some bitter chocolate would be excellent.
Yeah.
And I'd even venture to say orange slices. I don't know about you, but would you take a darker spirit with an orange? Because typically you do that with blancos. You do orange.
Right.
But I really think this with orange slices would be like the perfect dessert.
Yeah. Orange slice, maybe a candied orange peel.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That'd work really well. One of those.
What? An old fashioned.
There you go. Yeah. This would probably work really nicely as an old fashioned.
Oh my gosh. I'm in heaven, man. This is gorgeous. Well, I gotta say, Brand of Promise nominee as well in the Anejo category, and a really decent price point for the quality that you're getting in the bottle. I'm very, very impressed with the line.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right that this was the natural progression. It's beautifully done.
Yeah. Again, this is a bottle that if you like to have, you have like a sidebar or that's showing some of your nicer bottles, like this is definitely one of them you would want to have out on your home bar. Absolutely. It's a really nice bottle, and not something you would necessarily want to hide away in your cabinet.
No, you probably couldn't fit it in your cabinet. It's a pretty tall
bottle.
Well,
yeah.
It forces you to put it up on that top shelf because it's so tall.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I'm going to put it in my shelving here because we have so many tequilas this year for our sipping off the cuff that thankfully guys like Eric threw their hat in the ring and said, "I'll help you."
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you and I had a chance to really, really dissect Alderete. That your first time out, you got a really quality tequila because a lot of this stuff is hit or miss. We've been impressed with the quality in the past, and that's not to say that every tequila has some good qualities and bad qualities. But I'm glad that we were able to do this one with you. And that is our take on Alderete Tequila here on Sipping Off the Cuff. You've been watching us on our YouTube channel. You've been watching us on TequilaAficionado.com. You've been watching us on Tequila Aficionado Media. That gentleman over there is our newest TJ. That's Eric. And Eric, tell him where to follow you.
So you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at easydrinking.com. So the letter EZ, my initials, and then drinking. And then my blog is easydrinking.com as well.
So there you go. That's where you find Eric. Subscribe to the down below there on our YouTube channel. Let us know if you've had, Alderete. What do you think? You can also watch a lot of the archival footage of Sipping Off the Cuff and Last Tequila Standing, where we have Alderete on as well. So, but other than that, thanks for sticking around. And as we like to say here on TA, sip wisely.